What is up, guys? Tuki here, back again, live on Twitch. For those watching live, I love you, but we are live on Twitch, back again. This is Draft to Glory, where we are aiming to suck for one more season. For one more season before we go what we'll call all out for a cup win, which is basically just hoping that this core group of defensemen can improve in time to have that one final cup run. Also, of course, the goaltending is looking a little bit weak, but overall, we're a team on the rise. But can we reach that level before we hit the full 25 years? Let's find out, man. Let's find out. Let's begin the sim right here and right now. Again, this episode, the way it is looking like it's going to go, we're not going to make the playoffs. We'll get into one more draft, of course. And then hopefully the next episode where we sim through that season, we find that success and end up being back in the playoffs. That is the hope. Apparently I scouted that region twice. Who knew? We'll scout the defense for 2 weeks. Let's go. Let's do this. Hopefully, actually, didn't I turn off injuries and then forgot to turn them back on? Was that this series or was that Hockey Town? I think that might have been this series, which I'm hoping it was this series because at this point, who the hell cares? And maybe I'm thinking that's the case, judging by my lack of depth at the AHL level in particular. I did go through and sign one other player, but I have the feeling that that is the case. And if it is, then good, because I don't want to deal with the injuries tonight whatsoever. So we will march on. We will march on. I will punch my keyboard, and we will march on. And do terribly this season. We will do absolutely terribly this season. But next year, the hope returns. Probably not. At this point, I am starting to doubt our ability to end up having success in this series at this point. Obviously, we won cups, as yes, I dropped something and I'm trying to pick it up and I can't reach it. The quality level, the professionalism is through the goddamn roof. My God, I got it. It was a bottle cap. Didn't want my dog getting it. Didn't want my puppers choking on a bottle cap. We don't need that. But point is, we had success in this series early on. Or not early on. In the middle of the series, really. Early on, we were awful. And at this point, we're awful. The question is, of course, can we find that success? And I think it's going to be too little too late. At this point, I'm starting to doubt our ability. Now, offensively, we're looking good. But we need the goaltending to really step up, and we need the defense to progress at, frankly, an unfair level. Like, it is unfair to ask them to progress at that quick of a rate. So, who knows? Maybe we'll be surprised. Maybe we can get one more cup for Yuri Khudobin. He was a key piece of this series. Everybody else is gone. Nolan, Andre, they're all gone. I don't think Cork retired yet. I don't remember. Did Cork retire? If he did, he probably will at the end of this year, which shows that it was the right decision to trade him. And I meant to say if he didn't, but that's okay. Words, they're tough, I'm telling you. We'll go defense for a week in Liga. 2038. 2038. Damn. It's crazy, man. And I'm being told Stephen Quirk did retire. So there you go. Shows how well I remember. When you try to balance 2 to 3 franchise series at a time, when you also do throwaways on top of that, you can be forgetful. But that's what I have you guys for, because you guys remember. You remember the details better than I do. Hell, when I was talking about the end of Bork's Battalion, I couldn't remember who the goon was that everybody loved at a certain point in that series. It was Chris Neal. And people, I mean, God, Chris Neal and Tanner Glass, people refuse to let me forget now, at this point, that those are the two guys. They're apparently the goons to have. And I'm also going to assume, at this point, that injuries are off. It's been a couple months into the season now, and in before Yuri Hudobin just breaks his, like, not even breaks his spine, like, just gets freaking chopped in half at the waist. Like somebody just slashes him baseball style and he's done. He's just gone. 4-20-2. 4-20-2. But, yeah, again, I'm glad injuries are off. The goal of this season was to be terrible for one more year. Maybe even that bad for another season after this. And then we'll see. But the good thing is, of course, with injuries off and auto-rotate goalies on, we will zoom through this, damn it. We will fly through this season. The most frustrating part, of course, is to set up the scouting. Holy shit, can you tell this is the third video I've recorded in this run? I'm losing steam. I'm losing my mind. And poor Draft to Glory, as if I didn't lose my mind enough in the past. No wonder why I can't remember the last episode. Holy hell, I'm remembering it now. We broke the game with contract offers, and just, that was one of the strangest episodes that I have ever done. Ever. It was that ridiculous. But thankfully, we're moving on. Unfortunately, we're terrible. I like how we have a game every Tuesday for the rest of time. That's good. It's good to have a game every Tuesday for the rest of time. Thanks, NHL, and your schedule maker and your matchmaker. You're just the best. The best around. No, you're not. That is reserved. That title is reserved for one Raymond Bork. Don't you dare think you deserve that title, because you don't. You don't. Like I mentioned, the good thing is we're not going to have any playoff hockey with either team. So we're going to get right to the draft. We're going to see if we can make any other deals. Thank God we are at least back in North America for the scouting. We'll see if we can make any deals, see what offers we can get at this rate because of the decision we made to have the worst defenseman possible, basically, but the most promising in our lineup. We have the best chance at the #1 overall pick. Now, typically, here's the thing. Like, I would rather have a medium elite player who's an 80 overall to start than a medium franchise or even a high franchise guy who starts at like a 55 overall. We need that immediate help. And again, with trading for players outright and trading for free agents still not being a thing, in this series we need those high-level players from the draft immediately. Will we get them? Probably not, because overall, my draft track record is spotty, to say the least. I'm trying to be nice to myself and just, try to fool myself into thinking it hasn't been that bad. Overall, the draft has been pretty poor. Again, we had Nolan Patrick just kind of show up and be the guy. We got lucky with Andrei Svechnikov. We were incredibly lucky with Yuri Hudobin. The pick I'm still the most proud of, though, overall, has to be Steven Quirk. Because, my God, didn't people want Ray Yip? They wanted him. I said no. Quirk is the guy. And then we won cups with him. Or at least a cup with him. I don't remember. Was he the goalie for our first cup win? Probably. But again, that is my memory failing me. I'm so old. My God, remember the 90s? I mean, barely. I was born in the 90s, so I more remember the 2000s. So you get my point. Do we call them the 2000s? Do we call them the aughts? I hear some people call them the aughts, and that's just fucking dumb. So in which case do we call this decade the tens or the teens again? So then what do we refer to as the 1910s? This is bottom of the barrel rambling. Just bottom of the barrel rambling, but damn it, I do what I have to do to get through these goddamn season sims. They're so time consuming. I'm sitting here rambling about what do you call certain decades. It's ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous, we've actually won a couple of games this month. How is that possible? How is that possible? Up to 17 wins. Will we hit 20 wins this season? I can only assume we will, considering we've just hit March 1st. Regardless of that, as Stefan Benda, I haven't really done waiver claims as part of the series, and I still won't. He's 34 years old and awful. I still won't. He is 34 years old and just awful. Just the worst. He is. He's the worst. But let's go. Scouting. Come on. We got to get to the postseason that we won't be a part of because we're not going to make the playoffs. We need to get to this draft. That is the target. We should still be in line for the #1 overall pick, I would think. Unless we lose the lottery, which, hey, it's happened before and recently, although I think we still ended up. Yeah, well, that was one of the drafts where we ended up with just a ton of picks. Just a goddamn ton of picks. 20 wins, though. 20 wins, though, this season. Ridiculous. 20 wins. Up to 21 now. Up to 21. A defense for 2 weeks. The defense for 2 weeks. Let's go. Well, we hit 25 wins. That's the new over-under. And we just hit 22. Ottawa, how bad are you? I haven't checked the progression. As you well know, at this point, all season long. So I am excited to see what this team looks like once we get to the start of the postseason. Again, it's kind of a long season. The last game of the year isn't until April 10th. But I'm excited to see just how well some of our players have progressed. Of course, particularly the goaltending and the defense. We shall find out soon. Let's scout forwards for 3 weeks in the W. In the dub. 25 wins. There you go, man. Even when we're bad, we still manage to have some level of success, which, hey, I'll take it. It just shows that if our goaltending and defense can improve, we'll have a chance. We'll have a shot. So let's stop the simulation again, unless there's some sort of miracle. The Hershey Bears will not make the postseason, but let's take a look. We could be suffering from a bit of morale issues, but let's take a look. This chair is the worst. Mikkola, still an 88. Nugent Hopkins a 90. Dobin. The third line really didn't improve at all, despite playing all year. The defense did improve, though. Gray up to a 70, Simpson a 72, Tikkanen a 69, nice, and Georgievich at a 72. So we could be looking good. The goaltending, Andreoff only a 78. Is Morozov affected by the morale system? That's a question, man. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to be able to pull this off in time. We'll see. Next year's team is going to be the first year. Next year's team is going to be the first year where I just have to put the best teams on ice. Or the best team on ice, not the best teams on ice. The best team on ice and see what we can do. We will take a look at the season as it was. 87 points for Mikkola, 79 for Nugent Hopkins, 78 for Khudobin. That top line is unreal, but considering we had players that were minus 40 and such, not too great. But considering how bad some of our players were in the first few years, minus 120, it's not too bad. Andreoff got the majority of the games, and yeah. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. Let's just get to the draft. That is the highlight of the episode, so let's go. Let's go. Let's do this. Of course, we'll take a look at the awards, but as far as league-wide stats at this point, who cares? It's a bunch of nobodies that we've never heard of, and we'll never hear from again. We will never hear from them again. They will be gone. Into the void. Into the void. The Hershey Bears did not make the postseason, not surprising, although the last time I thought they were going to miss out, they didn't. They didn't. And they did pretty damn well. Not really. I think they were eliminated fairly quickly. But you get my point. You get my point. Let's scout the defenseman for 3 weeks as well. Can we get that #1 overall pick? Will we win the lottery as we should? Or will my hopes and dreams end in this episode as we may get that confirmation that it's over? We may get that confirmation that it's over. As again, we'll have to take care of the scouting assignment. Let's go OHL forwards for 6 weeks just to not care anymore. Just to not care anymore. Alright. We've hit June. Who won the cup? Let's find out. It was the Edmonton Oilers and Rochester Americans win the Calder Cup. Again, we'll take a look at the awards, but I need to know the lottery results. Let's go. What's it gonna be? Who's gonna win it? Can we get the #1 overall pick as we should? We lost the lottery. Again. We end up with the 3rd pick. Yep. That's about right, isn't it? That's about right. Retired players, we do lose Ross Winquist and Ernest Para, which isn't surprising. Any other retired players? I mean, again, at this point, who the hell knows who any of these guys are? Julian Frigon. Julian Friggin retires. Forwards. Anybody we know? Maxime Kalinin. Joey Walton retires. Gabe Velarde finally retires at 39 years old. Ross Winquist, in fairness, was kind of a disappointing pick, 4th overall in 2019. He had a decent career, though. Just under 800 points. He would have hit 800 points if we kept him. Oh, my God. And Thomas Zontag retires as well. Damn. Damn. All right, so we will edit the trading block. I'll take a look at the... All right, I'll take a look at the awards really quick before we go into the draft. Again, the Oilers win the Stanley Cup. What's their team look like at this point? I don't care. The awards is what matters. Edmonton, their 2nd cup in 3 years. What are you, some kind of dynasty? Player awards, Wesley wins the Art Ross, the Hart. Basically, did we take home any hardware? Although I think that Lady Big Winner used to be our player. Did we take home any hardware, please? No, we did not. How about at the AHL level? Please? Anything? Is there anything redeeming? Kevin Steen? Is there anything redeeming? No, there's nothing redeeming. Nothing redeeming whatsoever about this year. It was as poor as I expected it to be. So, let's go. It is time for the draft. And, of course, the first thing we will do is see if we can get this #1 pick from the Red Wings. And we can't because they don't want to trade it. How about the #2 pick from the Anaheim Ducks? They do want to trade it. So we should be able to make something happen here. Hopefully, I say should. Let's take a look. How about the 3rd round pick from Philly? No, not enough. Anaheim, cooperate, please. I beg of you. 4th round pick from Philly. There we go. All right, so we move up 1 spot for a 3rd and a 4th rounder. Let's take a look. Who do the Red Wings select? Gleason, medium elite. Let's go take a look at what we missed out on, because if he's good enough, I'll try like hell to trade for him. That'll be my one exception to the rule. He is exactly what we need. He is 100% what we need. So the question is, do I make this pick, or do I try to trade for that guy? Now, is there anybody here? So you got 3 defensemen and 1 forward left. And Jonathan Howes. By the way, there's an enforcer defenseman in the top 5. Rick Robbins. But you have Maxime Nikitin, Jonathan Howes, and Harry Staubitz. And there are also 2 goalies, both top 10, that you know would be great, but we don't need them. I'm going to go with the safe bet. I'm going to try to trade with Detroit. And then if there's somebody selected who is even better, we'll try to get that deal done. But I need the best player from this draft. I need him. So let's see if we can secure him. Anaheim. The Anaheim pick, the number 2 pick, and of course, where is Gleason? His name's not Jackie, but damn it, I'll call him Jackie. Gleason. That won't go through straight up. There's no way. Okay, man, the values are a bit rough. Now, the thing is, they do want the pick, so that might help a little bit. Is there anybody else that we can tack onto this deal? At least, no, there's nobody worth anything, really. Any goalies, actually, that we could tack onto this? Fritsch? I could use Fritsch, and yes, I know that timer's going down. I could use Fritsch, but he could be the backup. So, we're going to have to use picks. We're going to have to use picks. Again, the goal is to win another cup. So how about the Rangers second? Will that go through? No. And I didn't even safety net it. Good Lord. Good Lord. How about the third from Nashville? Will that go through? Good Lord. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this guy. I know I'm not using my second. That's because I don't want to. Will that go through? Jesus, man. I might just have to make this pick. Not that I want to. How about the third from us next year? Please. Detroit, I'm begging you. Hockey Town, I did so much for you. I did so much for you. Don't betray me like this, please. How about our second round pick next year and the third? Holy shit. This might not be worth it. I'm going to safety net it just a tiny bit, or not, because it glitched and it still didn't go through. I don't want to do this. He has to be the best in the draft. This was a disaster. If he's not the best person in this draft, it will be a disaster of a trade that could officially end our chances of succeeding. It goes through. We get Gleason. The question is, who else gets selected? Now, Howes went next. He's medium elite. So again, we'll go talk to Detroit. We'll go talk to the Red Wings. Did I make a mistake? Alright, so Howes is good, but he's a 62. So at the moment, we have the best player in the draft. And that was goal number 1. Anaheim takes the defenseman Nikitin, and here, we'll just go through the next pick. Staubitz was elite. And Robbins, an elite enforcer, goes 5th overall. Good Lord. So Anaheim, Colorado, and Minnesota. That's who we need to talk to. So Anaheim, who did you take once again? You took Nikitin, who is awful and a bust. Colorado, who did you take? You took Staubitz. I think we made the right choice for once on trading with Detroit to get that guy who went number 1 overall. And Robbins is actually not terrible for an enforcer. All right, we at least made the right decision. The question is, what picks do I have left at this point? What picks do I have left? I have our second, a third, and 2 fifths. All right, can I end up getting a 4th rounder next year? And here, we'll even talk to Minnesota. Let's talk to Minnesota. Can I get that 4th round pick this year? Apparently not. Damn it. Minnie, do me a favor. Do me a favor. 7th rounder next year too? Please? Bastards. Rat bastards. 7th round pick after that? Please. Thank you. Okay, so we get a 4th round pick. We get a 4th round pick. So a 2nd, 3rd, and a 4th. There's no way I'm going to be able to change this into another 2nd, but I could get a high 3rd round pick. And that's kind of the goal. So let's talk to New Jersey, the Devils. Let's work out a deal here. I want to move up my standing in the 3rd round. Can we get this to work? Please. God damn. We'll have to use the, what was it, the 5th next year? Yes, it was. Will that go through, please? Really? You telling me that's not fair value just to move up in the 3rd round? Extortion. Extortion, I tell you. Extortion. Is Lou Lamoriello reincarnate running that team at this point? Good Lord. Good Lord. Will that go through? Yes, it will. Okay, so we at least move up in the 3rd round. So the question is, can I use that second and third to end up back in the first round? That is the goal. Can we end up back in the first round? Now, I'm thinking maybe 15th. San Jose has that pick. They don't want to trade it because they're scumbags. That's why. How about 16th and Arizona? Hey, good, they want to trade it. I don't think I can get this to work. I think it's still a bit of a stretch. But we'll see. We shall see. Our second and third, that's going to be too much. Or is it? Yeah, it's still too much. I think I have a new third round pick, though. I do. Well, 2041 at least. Will that go through? Yes, it will. We are back in the first round. And now that we have that pick, does Tampa want to trade this pick? They do! Well, that's good news for me. Because, again, picks down the road, they don't mean a whole hell of a lot. We need success now. So the Arizona pick. And then what about, what's the next draft that popped up? 2044. How about our second round pick in 2044? Will that go through? No, it won't. Oh, Tampa. Oh, Tampa. How about a fifth and a sixth in 2043? Tampa. Steve Yzerman, the reincarnation of Steve Yzerman, is running that team just to fucking harm me physically. That still didn't go through. Tampa, I'm begging you. I need this pick. I need it. Third rounder way down the road as well. Will that go through? Yes, it will. Probably a bit too much to offer, but that's all right. We are on the board. 6th overall. Is there anybody worth taking aside from the guarantee of those goalies? Is there anybody worth taking? Shit. Carolina, let's talk. I have to be certain. So let's see if I can trade down. We'll see who the Hurricanes take, and if he's worth getting, we will trade for him. So the Tampa pick, it's our only pick left in this draft, which is ridiculous. Let's pick hoard as much as we possibly can. Close to fair value. Let's take off the 6th. You bastards. You bastards. I'm at least getting a 7th out of this then. You sons of bitches. Will that go through? Will that go through? You scumbags. Come on now. Let's have the trade go through, please. I'm begging you. Carolina. 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 I'll take a 4th just to move back one spot. Who are they taking? Spiller, high top 6. That's actually really good. How good is he, though? Overall-wise, we need a game changer right now. Spiller is a 59. Not quite a game changer. Not quite who I had in mind. Does Florida want to make a deal? You do! How nice. Well, allow me again to end up getting some picks back. This is what we have to do. This is as cheap as we have to be to make sure that we have success in the final years. How about a 4th and a 5th, or is that too much? How about just the 4th again? Really? Scumbags. Every single one of you. 5th and a 7th. Please. Thank you. Oh, God. All right, Florida, please select somebody decent. No, I knew the goalie would be decent. I don't need him, though. That's the thing. I really don't. Chicago doesn't want to get rid of the pick, so how about L.A.? I love L.A. Do they love me back? They don't. They hate me. They hate me. He hate me, and they hate me. Will Winnipeg. Winnipeg. Fuck it. We'll just make the pick. Fuck it. Oh, do I take the goalie or one of the defensemen? We know the goalie's going to be decent. We know the goalie's going to be decent. Leonov is 18. Davison is 18. I should just take the goalie. And I'll take the goalie. Stone, you're the guy. You also elite? Yes, you are. I am intrigued, though. What goalie was better? Did Florida make a mistake? Did Florida take the wrong goalie? Let's find out. They needed him because fucking their defenseman, Schroeder, is old. But my God, he was a beast. He was a beast. Collimore is good, like I knew he'd be. And Stone is actually even better. So I could probably trade Fritsch. Maybe. Sort of. Shit. 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 Damn. I don't know what to do. There's nothing to do. The rest of this draft is going to be brutal. So we're done with the draft, man. We are done with the draft because there is nothing left going on. But we at least pick up the best player in the draft and a good goalie that we could use in the future for trades if necessary. Although now we do have those later picks, don't we? Like in the 4th. I'll trade down to next year. It's fine. I don't want to make these picks. Who was terrible? Colorado. Let's go talk to the Avalanche. Let's go talk to Colorado. Hopefully you're shit again next year. My God, is it hot in this room, man? Whew. Good Lord. 4th, 5th, and a 7th. Can we get your 3rd round pick next year? Colorado. Again, the problem is there are players I could trade, but there's nobody really of extreme value left in this draft. They're just all awful. They are all absolutely terrible for the most part. Will that go through? Really? They need to fix the value bar. It's fake news. It's fake news, man. Will that go through? Thank you. Again, we are done in this draft. Take me to the end of the episode, please. I'm begging you. Take me to the end of the draft, and what will probably be the end of the episode, I'm thinking, because to be honest, it's fucking hot as hell in here, man, and I'm just dying. Just absolutely dying. It's 1:30. We've been live for a while. I got the hiccups, apparently, which is great. We only made 1 pick, technically. That's kind of weird how that works out. But to the re-sign phase, really quickly, I do suppose. I don't want to go through the trouble of setting up this team in this episode because it is just, it's a mess. And the veterans we're going to have to sign to massive contracts and all that shit. It's just a bit of a mess. Andreoff will re-sign. Marion Saget. Is Stone Canadian? No, he wasn't. So, Marion Saget, you are out of here, buddy. You should have retired by now. Defense. We'll let go of Mikanov, I guess. We'll keep Kavanagh, though, because he could still be useful. Peterson. You're not great. You're really not great. Like, you're really not. But we'll re-sign you and then probably trade you. Actually, here, let me take care of the UFAs first. Junior Harvey, looking to get paid. Daly, looking to get paid. We'll let go of McMuffin for the moment. Strachan, hanging in there. He'll get paid as well. And I think that does it for the UFAs. I think that'll do it for the UFAs. What else are we dealing with here? Let's make sure everybody re-signs. You know what? Maybe I will go through the offseason just to get this team set up so that we are good to go next time out. Everybody accepted, which is great. Just wonderful. Still $51 million in cap space. The fact that the salary cap went up to $110 million throughout the years is crazy. We're turning into the NBA. Let's see. We need to sign Gleason. Jackie. We need to sign Nugent Hopkins. We'll give him all the money because we can afford to. God, I don't know who else to sign. I guess I'll take care of defensemen first or goalies. Goalies are taken care of. Defensemen. Peterson. Sure, we'll sign you. O.D. Marchessault. Sure, we'll sign you. Hawk. You're awful. Get at it. No, you might have trade value. Nah, fuck it. Fuck it. We'll wait. Oh, there are some players where it's just they're not worth keeping, but they might be worth trading. That's the problem. That is the problem. Kretschmann. We'll bring you back. 2 centers. Weller. Weller, Chartrand, Foucault, and Nolan. Everybody gets a contract. I'm like fucking Oprah here, just throwing the money around. Just throwing the money around to anybody who will take it. Take my money. Win a cup with this team, please. I beg you. So, Weller, I think everybody should accept, right? Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Everybody accepts down to $32 million, which is still all right. UFAs were good. RFAs, we still had 3 guys to sign. To be honest, we're not even going to bother signing them because I need to sign veterans to max deals. So, again, the goaltending, we're fine. And I have to go for forwards and defensemen. Sim to free agency. We're moving on. Moving on up to the east side, man. Free agency. We'll look for veterans to sign. We will sim to the start of next season. And then I'll probably set up the team in the next episode because what the hell? What the hell? I'm dying over here, man. Good lord. Age. We need vets. We need vets. Foligno. I hope you are ready to be paid. Oh, and again, we're going to drop this money total down because the game isn't programmed to have somebody accept a $21 million or even $22 million contract. So let's go all the way to 16. 16, sure. Let's also sign Oberg. You're going to get the same kind of treatment, buddy. A shitload of money. A shitload of muns. All of the money. All of it. We'll go to like 14, I guess, and then we should be fine. We should be good to go. Why can't you just hit like the Y button and type in the numbers manually? Because that would be too easy. And EA loves to have the added challenge for no damn reason. Foligno accepts. Oberg accepts. Bring me to the start of the next season. And while that's happening, guys, I am actually going to call this episode right here. We will set up the team. Again, it is time. We have to start going for the cup. So we will put the best team available on the ice. For those watching live on Twitch, of course, hang around for at least a little bit longer. For those watching on YouTube after the fact, I thank you very much. Hell, I thank you regardless. This episode of Draft to Glory was... essentially, it was all a lead-up to end up getting that guy who went first overall. That's pretty much all that happened. Progression and draft, or at least acquire, the best player in the previous draft. That is all we really did. We did end up with another goalie, at least, though. So, that was good. That was good. But aside from that, not much happened. But again, thank you for watching. For those on YouTube, you know what to do. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Join the notification squad. Follow me on Twitter at Tuki24. Of course, the Twitch. I mean, if you're watching this live on Twitch, you already know. But for those who aren't, Tuki24. Go figure. It's a universal name. Guys, again, if you're on Twitch, hang around. But for those on YouTube, I am out of here. And hopefully, we can make the playoffs next year.